Zoom and boom, every pony! Spiky Dash here with you. It is Wednesday, April 11th at 7 o'clock on the East Coast, and we are live. Episode 16 of According to Spiky Dash, I guess in a way, a pre-Whinny City edition. Yes, it is finally upon us this weekend. The third annual Whinny City Pony Con in Schaumburg is upon us. I will be going there along with my best friend Nate and his wife Sarah for our second time. We made our debut last year. We were just feeling the con experience out, seeing what it was all about, and let me tell you, we just had an absolute blast. As I cannot mention enough, that experience was the inspiration for this series, for me getting more immersed in the fandom, becoming a bigger fan than what I already was. Inspiring me to write again. So it has just been, it's been an awesome experience, and hopefully this experience tops it, because this year, for the first time ever, we are sponsors. Yes, we are helping basically fund the convention. I myself am a Pegasus sponsor. Nate and Sarah are Earth Pony sponsors. So we are very much looking forward to all the excitement that comes with that, just the guests of honor, the awesome panels, the panelists, the community guests, everything that goes on this weekend. It's going to be an awesome time. So what to expect in this video, this episode? I will share my thoughts so far on Season 8. That's the big thing I want to talk about so far. We're 4 episodes in to Season 8 thus far, and I want to give my thoughts on each of the episodes thus far from Season 8 and what we've seen so far. I also want to share with you guys a list I didn't share in my last video, a couple last videos, and I should have. I shared my earlier episodes, I think it was around episode 12, 13. I shared my top 10 episodes, best episodes of Season 7. I also want to mention my top 10 worst, the ones that I didn't like all that much from Season 7. So I want to share those with you guys as well. And then I'll also share kind of where I'm going to be this weekend in Schaumburg. I have my whole schedule pretty much planned out, what I'm going to, what I plan on going to. Hopefully nothing is too much of an overlap or overrun. But so I kind of have a sense of what I want to do, looking over the schedule and everything. So I'll share that with you guys as well. And then a couple other things, just a recap of a trip I made last month to Fort Wayne, to one of the Komets games earlier this year, and at the very end, I will also share something FFSR related. I will announce on here my fantasy football's team name for the 2018 season. I will announce it on here as well. My fellow co-owners, myself, came to unanimous agreement. We started out with 20 names, then narrowed it down to 10, then down to the final 5, and then we came to a unanimous agreement about a couple weeks ago. So I will announce that on here as well. But first, let us talk about Season 8 thus far. I gave Season 7 a lot of praise last time, a couple episodes ago. I gave Season 7 a lot of praise because it was, in my honest opinion, one of the best seasons the show has ever had. So many awesome twists and turns, so many cool story arcs. Got to see some backstories on some side characters. Just a really great season, and the finale was awesome with Shadow Playa and the Legends. It was just a very great season overall. This season so far, though, aside from the premiere, the last 2 episodes to me, if I'm being completely honest, have been kind of flat. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a little rough. So yeah, I just feel like so far, maybe, I hate to use this word, maybe this show is playing it safe thus far with these last couple episodes, because we're seeing some of the main 6 that we're not used to seeing in like these, I guess, maybe different roles or different emotions or what have you. in these different circumstances that they went through with episodes 3 and 4 with Pinkie Pie in episode 3 and Fluttershy in episode 4. So that kind of got to me a bit, and I'll explain my reasons why in my notes here. But the premiere I thought was very enjoyable. I very much enjoyed the premiere. Now, full disclosure, full disclaimer, I have tried coming into the season. I tried really hard, guys. I tried really, really hard to avoid leaks, to avoid seeing the leaks, to avoid seeing spoilers. And the problem was people would not stop posting them to Twitter. And it was just so frustrating and hard for me to not be spoiled and see stuff in advance. And that's why I added, some of that stuff on my wish list, because I've seen, snippets of things from people on Twitter. And as hard as I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. It's been difficult. But so I kind of knew the concept of the season going in with the School of Friendship / Friendship Academy. I kind of knew what that was going in. I just didn't know, of course, how they were going to approach it or how we were going to see it until the premiere aired. So I kind of knew what to expect, but I kind of didn't. That's really where I'm coming from in terms of season 8. But my thoughts on, first off, the part 1 of the premiere, School Days, the first episode. Right away, my mind was blown. Right away, because movie canon right away. Like, I was just totally blown away by that. Now, Hasbro did mention, and because I know someone asked the question at one of the earlier cons, when does the movie take place? And they actually stated that it takes place between the end of season 7 and the start of season 8. So that was perfect. So it fit right what Hasbro said. So right away we see the map change right away, and we see where the locations are from the movie. The town where they were almost sold with Capper, and then the pirate scene, and then the Mount Eris with the sea ponies / hippogriffs. So we see that right away. And that was not, and I will say, that was not my original wish list right away for the movie to become canon, but it was definitely mind-blowing to see that right out of the box. So that was very cool. And then Twilight mentioned Tempest, and because Starlight asks Twilight, what about that unicorn that attacked Canterlot? What happened there? And it's like, oh, are we going to actually see Tempest? But Twilight then explains to us, okay, the offer was extended to Tempest for her to come to Ponyville, but she declined it. She decided to spread the word, which she learned about friendship and the defeat of the Storm King, which is completely understandable. I get that, and that's an understandable reason. I'm hoping that maybe later on in the season at some point or somewhere down the line we'll get to see Tempest or some of the movie characters, but for now, that was at least the fact that at least they touched on it, I guess, is okay. That's for me, that's all right. And then laughable moment, Pinkie's like, how many friendship quests do we need to go on outside of Equestria before we expand the throne room? We just expand everything. And so that was a funny scene. And then Fluttershy giving the line of, well, I've had enough life-threatening adventures. Thank you very much. The way she just put emphasis on that. I'm like, preach. I totally get it. I totally get that, Fluttershy. So then Twilight says that they're going, there's so many creatures that don't know about friendship and outside of Equestria, which is, again, totally reasonable and totally understandable. So then Twilight says, okay, they're going to learn it right here because we're going to open a school, a friendship school, which and I knew about the concept, and it's coming to fruition. So now, again, it makes me wonder, okay, now we know that it's gonna happen. How are they going to approach it? How is this going to, what is its role going to play? What's going to happen here? So after Twilight says that, I noticed right away also no change in the intro. And I guess maybe I shouldn't have been too surprised at that at first, because we've seen in previous seasons as well where in the premiere the intro doesn't change right away. It's been more subtle with the picture or what have you, but this didn't have the change that we would see in the later episodes. So I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised. I thought they would maybe include like the legends in the shot just because they were in shadow play, but oh well. So it made me also wonder, what kind of creatures are we going to get at this friendship school? Obviously, it's not based on the way Twilight described it, it wasn't just going to be pony only. It wasn't going to be just pony related. There were going to be, more, extending beyond the borders of Equestria, she mentioned. So, and since the movie was canon, it made me wonder, because there was a rumor going around that we were potentially going to get hippogriffs. So there was a rumor going around we might see some or see one. So that made me wonder as I was watching that. So of course, Twilight then shares her idea with Princess Celestia, and Celestia's, oh yeah, she's fully on board. She's like, oh yeah, I think that's a great idea, Twilight. I'll help in any way I can. I love that Celestia is still kind of being a quote unquote mentor, like still taking on a mentor role to Twilight, even though Twilight is no longer Celestia's pupil. She still, takes on this role of helping Twilight when she needs it. So I think that's really cool. But of course, Twilight, never having run a school before, has a lot of questions for Celestia, and she throws them all at once. And I'm just thinking to myself, Twilight, let Celestia speak. Let her at least answer one before you have all these different questions. She can't answer everyone at the same time. Jeez, just calm down. I understand you're kind of freaking out, but geez. So then, in the process of all that, we find out about this organization called the EEA, or the Equestria Education Association. So apparently, they are kind of like the Board of Education, or like what we have here in the U.S. with the Education Department. They handle every school in Equestria. So that's really, I thought, okay, that's neat. That's a neat novel concept, and Celestia shows us visually how they. Each of the classes, the Pegasi learning the weather, or the Earth doing their job, or the, unicorns learning magic, how the EEA handles all that. So not even Princess Celestia, as one of the leaders, one of the big leaders of Equestria, she's not even allowed to run the school the way she wants to. It has to be under these EEA standards. So I thought that was an interesting concept. But that will also have kind of, I guess, a play-in, tie-in role later in the second part of the episode. And then we are introduced to the EEA and to Chancellor Naysay, who I knew right away, just by the voice, was voiced by Maurice LaMarche. I recognized it right away. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the brain. That's Maurice LaMarche. I knew right away who it was. So I love that MLP is getting these awesome celebrity, cameo, whether it be a cameo appearance like William Shatner did with Perfect Pair last season, or Felicia Day doing Pear Butter, or all these different cameos. I love that MLP is getting, or Weird Al with Cheese Sandwich. I love that the show's getting these characters, these great voice actors to do these awesome roles. So first off, great name for the character, Chancellor Naysay. I love that. It sounds villainous in and of itself. So, but he's just like this big, overbearing figure, like, yes, I run the EEA, I run everything. The school has to be done by the book. I love that. So, and then of course the awesome actor appearance. But I'm thinking as Twilight's and Spiky are in that room, thinking, oh, good luck getting past this guy, Twilight. You're gonna have your hose full, if you know what I mean. But in the end, Twilight makes her pitch, and eventually she does get the EEA to, I guess, sort of understand where she's coming from. Although I note that Naysay says a school for ponies to defend our way of life. So I don't think, so right away I'm thinking, oh, I don't think he gets the whole concept of this. I don't think he understands where Twilight's coming from fully. But he does grant them provisional EEA status. Now, before they get fully accredited, it has to be seen fully up and running. So, of course, Twilight invites him to Friends and Family Day later on to make sure everything is running smoothly to get full accreditation. But yeah, I already had a thought, like, is this guy gonna be either the villain of the episode or villain on the season? Because I didn't like the way he was going already. So our main six have now become teachers. And I guess, that verifies the thoughts of the people that I read from Equestria Daily when they did their community soapbox column, and they were kind of breaking down this concept of the School of Friendship. So I had a thought in my mind, or at least I had two thoughts. It means that either A, this group of students that we're probably going to eventually find out about, you know, is going to be maybe the next generation to like replace our current main 6, or the second scenario is maybe one or all of them may go rogue and just take things over. That's kind of what this dark thoughts of these soapbox people that they posted on Equestria Daily kind of had in their minds. So that's maybe what they talked about. So the doors open to the school, and we do end up getting all kinds of creatures, which was awesome. You know, and so I'm seeing all these. I'm like, okay, there's a dragon in there. There's a yak. Hello, yak standing in the picture. There's another griffin in there. There's a changeling in there. So I'm like, okay, this is going to get really interesting really fast. This is really cool. I like already where this is going. But as everyone files in, and Twilight, you know, introduces himself, you know, introduces herself, and Starlight is a guidance counselor. Perfect role for her. Awesome. I think that suits her perfectly. And then we slowly but surely get introduced to our young 6 or student 6. They're being called different things in different circles, but some have said young 6, some have said the student 6. So I like either term, but so we get introduced to them. We first get our pony of the group. That's Sambar, and I'm pretty sure, and if we later find out that it's Vincent Tong. And normally Vincent Tong voices characters that we don't like. I like Garble, or, you know, Featherbangs, or, you know, someone that we really don't see eye to eye with. Sambar's actually, he's okay. He's not my. Actually, he is toward the bottom of, and I'll share my rankings later. I'll spoiler. He is toward the bottom of my rankings, but only because he's a pony already. Like, and that's not to say that, you know, doesn't have character, but he's kind of this like laid back surf pony kind of like, you know, vibe. You know, he's just kind of this, you know, he's laid back. I love his cutie mark. He's got turtles for his cutie mark. I dig that. But he's got that cool vibe. So yeah, I dig that. And then we get a male griffin, which we have not seen yet, aside from Grandpa Gruff. But we get actually a male young griffin, which is really cool. But of course, we have to maintain the Griffin overture at the start, with the exception of Gilda and the friend that she made back in Griffinstone. He comes across as kind of rough. You know, Sambar bumps into him, and Sambar's like, "Oh, do you attend the school too?" And he's like, "No, I just," you know, kind of gives a "here's your sign" in a way. Kind of like, "No, I was just standing here, see how many ponies would bump into me." I just thought that was great. So, and then he kind of does you know, he blows his hair up. Feathers in this case. I love that. So Gallus is his name, and as we find out from Grandpa Gruff, who makes an appearance. So I didn't like Gallus at first because of the gruffness of him in a way, but as the episode went on, he kind of grew on me a little bit, because at first he thought teachers were lame because these are because of how the class was going, but then later on, as he finds out that they're actually pretty cool, then I kind of get more respect for Gallus. So I liked him as the episode went along. And he went after Rainbow being Rainbow Dash being a teacher. It's like, oh yeah, Gilda told me all about you, but you're a teacher? I thought you'd be cooler than that. So I like that. I liked Yona. I liked Yona from the start. Prince Rutherford then comes in, and then Yona, and I like her excitement, her energy. A little bit of a klutz because of her hair. Actually, her hair is so long, she keeps stumbling on it, and this kind of becomes this running gag of her tripping on her hair. So, but I like her excitement. I like her energy, and I love the fact that, of course, Ember's in this episode, because of course I love anything involving Dragon Lord Ember, but she brings a dragon as well. Smolder, great name, by the way, great name for a dragon, love it. So I love that facet. I like her character already. Spoiler, she's already my favorite of the young six because she's a dragon. So, but I love that. And it's nice to see Spike and Ember interacting together again. And then it's like, for a moment, there's two dragons, because Spike asks, well, which one is Smolder? And there's another one, and actually that's not an actual dragon. That's a changeling. So we see Thorax come in, and it's a young changeling named Ocellus. And I'm getting better at her name. I tweeted this out on Twitter. I'm probably going to screw this up maybe multiple times. Maybe not so anymore because I'm getting used to saying the name better. It was Ocellus, not Ocellus. I pronounced her name Ocellus a lot at first, like, oh, it's like an ocelot. No, it's Ocellus. So I have to, remember that. So, but I love that she tried to fool Spike into thinking that she was a dragon. And Thorax like, no, stay in your own form. Be respectful. She's shy. She's the shy one. But she grew on me also as the episode went along because she's kind of like the Twilight in a way, in that she's kind of the nerdy one. She's kind of the bookworm. She paid attention in class. So that's why I liked her. And then we finally get our hippogriff. We finally get our sea pony / hippogriff. She is also very excited, kind of like Princess Skystar in the movie. I think she and Yona are going to get along very nicely. This is Silverstream. She is actually the niece of Queen Novo from the movie. So we get to meet also one of the naval generals of the hippogriffs, which was awesome. So she may not be Princess Skystar, but the excitement shows in the sea pony genetics, if you will. And eventually, after running into the changeling and learning about changelings a little bit, she does find Yona. She finds Yona right away. She's like, wow, is that a yak? I love her energy. I love Yona and Silverstream's energy as well. So at that moment, after we met the young six, I kind of took some guesses. I took a stab in the dark, and I said, okay, Silverstream and Yona are going to hit it off because they're both energetic and have excitement. I guess maybe Smolder and Ocellus would hit it off right away as a pair because of Ember and Thorax's relationship with each other as good friends. They may not bond right away because of the awkward interaction, but we'll see. And that would leave only Sandbar and Gallus. And after their rough introduction to each other, I don't know if they'd fully bond right away. So, yep, that's our student 6. So then we have, this song. We have this opening School of Friendship song, and it's a good song. It's a nice song, but you kind of see right away in the song, in the context of the song, how this is going. It starts off pretty well, the students look like they're having a really good time. Everyone's enjoying themselves, but Twilight, of course, is very strict on doing things by the book, by the EEA standards. And I got the feeling that that's really going to start taking a toll on every creature because, yeah, you really can't. That's another thing. You really can't say every pony anymore in regards to this because there's not just ponies. So you got to go every creature. So that every pony can't exactly fly anymore. But yeah, when at first they're having fun and enjoying themselves, but then it goes from fun to boredom because now it's all about doing things by the book and making sure everything's approved and making sure actually teaching to the book standards, and that's overwhelming on the students. They're getting stressed, they're getting bored, it's not as fun. So yeah, that it takes its toll, and eventually that leads to the students eventually saying, is this really what it's all about? Is this, these are teachers. These are the ones that actually saved Equestria. They don't seem all that great. They seem lost. They seem in over their heads. They don't know how to do this. And yeah, so and then in the end, it kind of leads to, a clash. It leads to, Smolder and Gallus kind of have this, uppity sense to them, like maybe we're just too tough for friendship. We're just too good, and they pick on Yona. I think it's Gallus that picks on Yona, for being a klutz, or Smolder says something like, she says, are there anything yaks aren't best at? And then Yona goes, yes. Wait, no. Yak's best. And then Smolder's like, well, no fire, no wings, no claws, wings, or fire. So they're dissing each other, and Sandbar's like, hey, you know, need to diss Yona's heritage, and then of course Gallus gets in on that, but eventually Gallus and Yona clash, and then Rainbow Dash and AJ have to come in and separate every creature up, and see, I almost did it there. Every creature up, they have to separate them. I can sense this kind of darkness already in a way. So at this point, it's kind of obvious that, you know, the main six are thinking, okay, if there's fights going on between the students over all this, the by the book thing just isn't working. Like it's just not working out. This isn't working. So the rest of them all go to Twilight, share their complaints, and it's like, you know, no, this isn't working out. Something's got to be done. Something's got to change. Got to try something different. But Twilight's like, no, the EEA is going to be here this afternoon. We have to do it by the book. We have to stick to this. And Spike, to me, delivers the best line in the first part of the episode. He confronts her, and he goes, who are you, and what have you done with Twilight Sparkle? I love that line. And, of course, Twilight just kind of, like, moves him off to the side and pushes him off. So, yeah, I love that. But so Twilight then just continues to lay down the law. She says, well, we're going to have to, you know, enforce those standards harder if they're not working. So we got to make sure that we do it by the book. Well, in turn, that leads to Smolder and Gallus actually do hit it off. And I was definitely not expecting that. But, hey, I guess, you know, flying creatures stick together. I guess four out of the 6 do fly. So that's interesting. So I guess that would leave Sandbar and Ocellus as maybe the odd 2 out. I don't know. But Smolder and Gallus and they, you know, no, we're just gonna go ahead and skip class. This is kind of getting, you know, too crazy, you know. But, you know, and then Silverstream was like, well, what about, you know, Friends and Family Day? That's after class. So and Gallus is like, we're just taking a little mental health break. It's cool, it's fine. So then everyone else gets in on it, and eventually Sandbar joins in, and he says a line that I piqued my interest at first. He's like, well, make sure you don't get into trouble. Famous last words, am I right? So, and then Smolder and Ocellus hit it off quicker than I thought, because Ocellus then does a cool thing, and she actually changes, you know, Fluttershy starts coming around the corner with Angel Bunny, and they're almost busted, and Ocellus changes into Rarity and gives this like, oh, we're just going to the lake and see our reflections, how divine we look. Everyone else is stunned by that. So that actually works on Fluttershy, surprisingly. And so they escape and they get out. And Smolder actually apologizes to Ocellus. She says, I apologize for everything I said about you. That was awesome. But then Ocellus is like, well, what did you say about me? I didn't know we never get to see what Smolder said. So that was interesting. And speaking of more trouble, here comes Chancellor Naysay, and he makes kind of an early appearance, if you will, popping in while Twilight and Starlight are talking. So I wonder what's going to happen when he finds out now what's going on. So Rainbow then discovers the students are gone, and of course this isn't a good thing because Chancellor Naysay is there, so it's like, no, don't tell him. So they try to fake off like a lesson in loyalty is going on, but Chancellor Naysay is like, I want to hear about this. So they have to pretend like there's something going on. But the young six are down by the lake, and they're swapping stories and jokes and what have you and the other. And actually, in a way, they're kind of learning about friendship just by being there. You know, they're swapping. They're talking about you know, cracking jokes and learning about each other's culture and, you know, what are dragons good at? Smolder says we're good at competition. Who's up for a race? And so they're embracing each other's strengths and then even helping with their weaknesses, because then, you know, as they're doing the race, the flying four, which are Gallus, Smolder, Ocellus, and Silverstream, or not Silverstream. No, Silverstream can fly. What am I thinking? Yona and Sam are the ones that can't fly. So they then come down and they start going up top, and Yona and then they pick up Yona, and Gallus picks up Sandbar and Silverstream and Smolder pick up Yona, and Ocellus is flying on her own, and it's like, you know, and Gallus is like, oh, we don't want to be the only ones enjoying the view, so they're all flying overhead. and so yeah, I totally forgot that changeling with hippogriffs could fly. So yeah, my bad. So then Yona's like, flying not best. But then eventually she embraces it. She goes, flying is best. And Silverstream's like, congratulations, Yona. You are officially the weirdest. And their eyes roll, which is classic hippogriff. You're the weirdest thing I've seen so far. And then Smolder's like, what do you say to that, Ocellus? Can you be weirder than a flying yak? And she transforms into something. We don't see what that something is until at Friends and Family Day. So eventually we find out that Ocellus turned into this big hornet-like thing, and chaos ensues, of course, because no one knows that it's actually Ocellus, so then they think the school is under attack by this giant hornet. So all that happens. People are getting hit by Gallus drops Sandbar, and he takes out the adults, and Thorax drops like a wooden tree in the forest. I think Grandpa Gruff got hit with a cake in the face, and then Ocellus, who's still in the hornet form, can't stop fast enough, and she smashes into the back of the school and then changes and drops down. Well, of course, this is all stunning to every creature, and Chancellor Naysay, of course, is having none of this, because he thinks these creatures attack ponies. He's thinking they went after them, and Twilight's like, no. Apparently, we had some students, get out. And Chancellor's like, wait, those are students. Those creatures are students. But I thought that you were running this school for ponies only to protect Equestria. That's what I thought you said. And he does, in a way, I guess, make a point. He, with his worries, like, what if they take what they learn and use it against the ponies? Is that possible? But this is, in a way, it's very creaturist, racist. Say what you will. Naysay says some very hurtful stuff. Because he calls them dangerous creatures. And then when Prince Rutherford says, well, maybe yaks don't need the pony school, he says, well, then maybe you should return to your kind. Ouch. Knife, heart, twist, pull out. That was definitely a painful moment. So, of course, that leads to every creature leaving, because they will not stand for that. And, of course, this also does not sit well with Twilight either, because she's like, oh, well, Celestia had me reach out to all the kingdoms when she finds out you shut down the school. But then they says, well, because you failed EEA standards, because you were unorganized, the teachers uncoordinated, unprepared, and the dangerous creatures. Oh my gosh, the Penguins are spanking Philly already, 3-0. Because you did all that, I'm shutting it down because you did not meet EEA standards. So that's how part 1 ends. And we're like, oh boy, that's pretty devastating that, you get an idea off the ground and you think you're going to make it work. And next thing you know, bam, because of, honestly, yes, letting, not knowing the students were playing hooky, that definitely was a mistake. That was a mistake on Twilight and the main six's part. But they couldn't have known that there was a changeling going to turn to a giant hornet and then be perceived as an attack. So they couldn't have known that. So it's kind of like it's your fault, but it's not all your fault kind of situation. So I gave part 1 a 7 out of 10. I sort of liked it. It was, for the most part, it's pretty good. I liked the young six. I thought that was the most part, but I didn't like Naysay, obviously, because he's clearly the villain here. Now, part 2 I liked a lot more than part 1. And so far, part 2 is my favorite episode of the season thus far for these 4 episodes. I gave this 8.5 out of 10 for a number of reasons. We start off right away with Twilight being absolutely devastated, like rock bottom, like you can't go any lower. Of how devastated Twilight was. She's playing sad music in her room, surrounded by pillows, tissues. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Spike finds her, and just the look on her face is just absolute devastation. I would have felt the exact same way if something that I'd put a lot of time and work and effort in, and it just immediately got totally taken away. I would absolutely feel devastated, like Twilight. And of course, though, because Twilight is down, Komets, as Spike put it, Operation Cheer Up. Komets are friends trying to come in, and they bring light in. They do different things. Angel tries to give her a hug. That just backfires because Angel gets sad. Rarity tries to put a dress on her. That doesn't work. So yeah, none of that works. This devastation is just too strong. No pun intended, Tara. It's just like, just in that moment, you want to hug Twilight. You're just like, I feel so bad for you. But then, as Twilight takes a walk outside and stands outside the school, it's on lockdown, and she just has that feeling of like, oh man, this is awful. In comes Starlight Glimmer, a.k.a. our voice of reason, which she normally has been. I mean, taking on this guidance counselor role. And, Twilight's like, oh, everyone else has already tried to cheer me up. That won't work. And Starlight's like, oh, no, I'm not going to cheer you up. I'm going to tell you what you did wrong. I'm going to come at you right away. And Twilight's like, what? And she's like, you gave up too easily. You gave up on this too easily. And Twilight's like, really? Twilight's like, well, you made me guidance counselor. That means tough love. I love that. I love Starlight in this moment. I love it. But here's the thing. Starlight learned this lesson the hard way herself on giving up too easily. Remember in To Change a Changeling when she thought that pharynx was a lost cause? Remember that? Yeah. The student here teaching the teacher, don't give up on things too easily. But Twilight, of course, is like, well, and Starlight's like, when you met me, I was a disaster. I wasn't, very good, but you taught me that you got to stand up for what you believe in. Why not for the school? And Twilight's like, well, I can't go against the EEA. I can't go against their standards. The standards say. And Starlight just goes, F off, F that book. It doesn't matter. I love, of course, that came up as a meme right away on Twitter. Like, get out of there with that book nonsense. Doesn't matter what they say. It matters what you say because you're the princess of friendship. And why should you go by their standards when this is more important? You're trying to do your job, not theirs. So, that's what's important. So, of course, Twilight bounces back after that. She very much appreciates that. And Starlight's like, well, how can I help? And it's like, you already have. I love when those two come together. Love it, love it, love it. So it is time to run the school the right way, not the book way. But the big two things standing in the way of that are, well, A, we got to get the school accredited somehow, which makes Twilight's eye twitch. I love that, by the way. And we got to get all the students back. Well, at least the non-pony ones. The pony one's going to be easy because they're right there in Ponyville, of course. But we got to get the, young six, the young five of the young six back. Sandbar, I'm sure, will hopefully come back on his own. But everyone else. So each pony of the main six goes then to see the adults. Pinky goes to see Prince Rutherford. Rarity goes to the Dragonlands to see Ember. I think it was, who was it? Who went to see, because Applejack went to see the Hippogriffs. Rainbow Dash went to see the Griffins. So that only leaves, Fluttershy went to see Thorax and Pharynx. Nice to see Pharynx again, by the way. So they each make their pitch and to bring their students back to the school. But unfortunately, it's not happening because the students are gone. Again, they're gone. They're nowhere to be found. They have no idea where they went. And we're all like, wait, what? They're gone again? So that only makes us wonder, they really, number one, they like to make a habit of disappearing, just in general. Well, but here's the thing. Except for Sandbar, Sandbar's already a pony. I put this in my notes because this was interesting. This is something interesting that I noticed that maybe will play a little role later in the season. Okay, you notice, you see, with Gallus, you see Grandpa Gruff. With Smolder, you see Ember. With Ocellus, you see Thorax. With Yoni, you see Prince Rutherford. With Silverstream, you see the Navy General and all that. So each one of them had somebody there to bring them and represent them. Where's Sandbar's parents? Why didn't Sandbar's parents show up to Friends and Family Day? Why weren't they there? That's honestly an interesting question. It makes me wonder about that a little bit. Why didn't anyone bring him? So it turns out they then meet up, all the elders, I guess, of the young six then meet up, well, the young five, not counting Sandbar, of course. They meet up in the throne room, the new throne room, by the way, another part of canon from the movie. So where now Luna has her own seat. Nice. So of course, they're bickering with each other because they think that, they couldn't have done this on their own. Someone must be hiding them. So they all start blaming each other and bickering over this. So we might have an international incident. But it turns out they left their parents notes before they left. When they found the school closed, they wanted to stay together. They didn't want to say goodbye to each other. So that's powerful right there in itself, that they actually formed a bond, a true friendship bond, while they were outside of the school. So talk about forming a quick bond. That was huge. So that time away really did bring them all together with each other. But the elders don't believe that because they're young minds. How could they have done that themselves? They just keep wanting to fight each other. So yeah, so now Twilight and the main six need to figure out, okay, where we need to figure out where they are, because if we don't find them soon, there could be literal internal war here. So what do they know? Well, they know that those five that we just mentioned, no pun intended, Sandbar, disappeared together. So we know that much, and we don't know where they went. But then all of a sudden, hi, Sandbar, just strolling into Sugar Cube Corner. Isn't that interesting? Just strolling in, and that all to me just had the vibe of being suspicious from the start. Because he sees their pictures on the board, and it's like, nothing to see here. He's getting all these cupcakes and stuff, and it's like, he's like, no, I'm just really hungry. And I'm like, and I didn't say it, but I was like, oh, bull hockey. You know something, pony. You know something that we don't know. So then eventually put the pieces together, like, Sandbar was friends with them, and Sandbar was getting this, that, and the other at all these different places. So he must be bringing all that back to them. So they got to track him down. So eventually we find out that the Student Six are hiding out at the castle of the two sisters. That's interesting. We didn't know we would ever see that again, but they're hiding out there. And so that's very interesting. So they're just, chilling there together, laying low. So because they didn't want to say goodbye to each other. So I guess that's cool. And we learned some different things, and that Ocellus was the smart one because she knew about the castle by paying attention to Twilight's class, which was awesome. And Gallus is like, school was good for something after all. And then Sandbar comes back with the stuff, and then we have the random moment of the episode. And then I understood the jokes on Twitter later. Silverstream and stairs. I mean, it was the randomest thing. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys, I found stairs. And it was just the most random thing. I may or may not. I may do it with Whinny City this weekend when I get there. It's like, we got to go to registration and go down the stairs. I might do it. So look for that. But so after that, Ocellus then tells us again how she was paying attention in class because they come upon this weird creature that's apparently called a puckwudgie. And from one of Fluttershy's classes, and she tries to change into one to interact with it, and that only leads them to becoming aggressive, and they start firing their spines at them, kind of like hedgehogs. So they're like little mini hedgehogs or porcupines. So yeah, this is our trouble. Remember Sandbar's quote from earlier? Make sure you don't get into trouble. This is it coming full circle. So, you know, they try different things to fend them off. Doesn't work. But then Jonas says, you know, I'm not scared. At least I have friends. So they all, you know, come in together and agree to try to stand him down the best they can. But then thankfully, Rainbow Dash comes in, swoops in, and protects them. And then Twilight and Starlight come in. All the main six, and then Spike come in. Even Spike headbutted one of them. That was cool. So they come in and rescue our young group. So yeah, it's pretty evident that our young student six have learned friendship. That's become a given. But the castle, obviously, not exactly the safest place for a camp out. So Twilight then suggests to bring them back to school. And Smolder's like, well, that's not much of a choice. We either go back home or we, you know, go to the school. It's like, not much of a choice either way. So they come back, and eventually also Celeste, before Twilight can unlock the school, Celestia and the elders of the Young Six also come back, and they got Twilight's letter about, you know, reopening the school, and the elders are just thankful that the students are all right. That was their big concern. And Grandpa Gruff, though, is like, I don't care, you know, you're not going to get a welcome committee from me. You're coming back home to Griffinstone. And Gal's like, nope, I ain't leaving. And they're so cute. Ocellus is like, none of us are. Sorry, Thorax. I just found that she's adorable. I love Ocellus. She's absolutely adorable. And Ember's like, and Yek's like, or Prince Rutherford's like, is this some pony joke? And he's like, no, we're all going back to school. And then Ember's like, well, how? You can't even get inside. About that, though, Twilight then shoots the lock, breaks it, says the school's back open. But then, of course, that leads to Naysay coming out and saying, you know, who dares break my lock? And Twilight says, well, I did, and you better step aside or else class is going to be late. And Naysay's like, no, there's not anything at all because I said so because the EEA closed the school. And Twilight's like, well, wait a minute. It's not an EEA school, but it's a friendship school with its own rules, and I should know. I wrote the book. Boom. Right at Naysay's hooves. Right there. Even a bigger book than his, by the way. So take that and shove it. I mean, that was another one of the great moments of the episode. So that was awesome. So then at the end, we get a reprieve. And Naysay kind of leaves in like, I'm going to be back again way. You know, Twilight says, I promise that my school will protect Equestria. And Naysay goes, or destroy it. And he goes right back to the portal. So I feel like, I think we're going to see him again at some point, unfortunately. So then we get a final reprieve of the song, with Friendship Always Wins, which is a very great song. Great group picture in the end, which is nice. And the adults have eventually give in. They say, all right, we'll let you kids stay. You know, one by one, they agree to stay. And even Gallus, Grandpa Gruff's first like, you know what? I don't care if you made friends. You belong at home. And Gallus like, please, Grandpa Gruff. And gives this adorable face. Oh, Gallus. It was just so adorable. I loved it. And it was just so cute. And he's like, all right, stop that. You can stay. So, but I can't help but have this nagging thought in my mind. Like, is Naysay going to be right? Is this new school going to end up destroying Equestria? Is that actually going to happen? Is he going to team up with another villain, maybe like Chrysalis, to ensure that this happens? It's like, you know, because it's just, the door is left open for him to return. So it's like something's going to happen. Like, I just get that sense. This premiere left me with a lot more questions than it did answers, but still a fun premiere. You know, still pretty exciting. I like the second part better than the first because Twilight finally said, hey, shove it. I'm still running this. I'm still doing this school anyway, whether you like it or not, with Starlight's help, of course. So, yeah, I thought that was enjoyable. So, again, my personal ranking of the Student 6, Smolder number 1 because, as you guys know, I'm a dragon fan always. Ocellus number 2 because she's cute and because of Thorax. Gallus number 3. Didn't think I liked him at first, but grew on me throughout the episode. His best line was when he was getting rescued. He was like, "Is that Professor Egghead?" referring to Rainbow Dash. And then discovered the teachers were cooler than he thought. Yona number 4. Like her enthusiasm, like her excitement. Silverstream at 5. Stairs. And then Sandbar at 6. And only because, you know, it's like he's already a pony, but he feels like the odd one out. We didn't really get to see much of his backstory or really get much development with him because he's already a pony, and we didn't see his, you know, have someone with him represent him or a parent. So we don't know that much about him like with the others. So that's why I have him at the bottom, because we didn't really see much development from him. Just seemed like he's there. But then episodes 3 and 4, not really too fond of these. You know, Maud couple, I only gave 6.5 out of 10 stars. You know, with Maud and her boyfriend. You know, Pinky getting frustrated. You know, let's see. Let me kind of like the big takeaways from this episode. You know, the scene with Pinky and Starlight, that was cool. With you know, Starlight having a secondary role there, I liked that in the episode. And then Mudbriar. I don't know. I found it to be greatly annoying, just as weird as Maud. Pinky getting annoyed, and then finding out, oh wait, the Maud's boyfriend is Mudbriar. That was like, what? That was kind of predictable. I think I kind of saw that coming, so I don't like that when an episode seems a little bit too predictable for me. I don't like that. So I do like his cutie mark. Cutie mark is literally a stick in the mud. I thought that was hilarious about Mudbriar, though. So he likes sticks. Maud likes rocks, sticks and stones. Ha 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 ha! It's funny. It's a pun. Laugh. So Pinky has to, you know, fake the fact that she likes it. And Mudbriar's pet being named Twiggy. Twiggy and Boulder interacting together. So Pinky just, you know, she laments to Starlight. She does eventually agree to help Mudbriar plan this surprise birthday party for Maud. But Mudbriar thinks he knows more than Pinky's because he's got this kind of weird vision board in his mind, kind of like this numbers scene. So I like the fact there was continuity, Starlight and Maud with the kites. I like that. But then Pinky eventually just hits her breaking point. She breaks down because, you know, she screams out, you know, Mudbriar's impossible to like. And Maud's talking like him. That's the breaking point for Pinky because she feels like, oh, wait, well, now you've got a boyfriend. You don't need me anymore, the best sister friend forever. So that was hard to watch. That weird scene with the faces, like that was like, whoa, that was like way trippy. Like, I don't know if Pinky's mind is just that distorted or what, but that was just way out there. I didn't understand that at all. That was kind of way out there. But then the cool part about this episode was she went back to the farm after that happened, and we get to see Marble and Limestone, and I never thought we'd see them again, but it was nice to see them. It was very cool. And Limestone actually is, even though she comes across as, again, very, you know, kind of, I guess in a way, emo in a way, kind of very gruff and tough, and like, you know, I feel really, you know, bad all the time. She comes across as smart because she tells Pinky, you know, okay, you see Mudbriar as a rock, just on the outside, but Maud sees him as a gem. She's what he's, you know, on the inside, you know, as this bright sparkle, and you need to kind of see him for how she sees him. Why Mudbriar makes her happy. So eventually Pinky realizes they're right. You know, she apologizes to Mudbriar, and they eventually do agree to plan the party together after all. So they make up, and in the end, it's a cool ending where, you know, everyone kind of just enjoys the party, even though that, you know, Pinky, Mudbriar, and Maud are seeing it from atop a hill. Starlight kind of gives a little wave to him, like, you know, hey, we're still enjoying it, but you guys are up there enjoying it. So and that's the way she would have wanted it to be. So because Pinky took Mudbriar's advice and put it to use. So that was cool in the end. I gave, let's see, what did I give this episode? I gave it 6.5 out of 10. It was okay, but it's not like an episode like I'm gonna remember. It was just, you know, it had its mix. It had a mix of good and bad, and it was just okay. But last week's episode was, to me, more bad than good. I only gave Fake It Till You Make It 6 out of 10 stars because I never thought that I would see Fluttershy in this way. Like, I know she's had her moments before where she's been, you know, whether, you know, very shouty or mean or, you know, what have you, or come across as tough, you know, not, you know, more like sassy shy or, you know, flutter bold, if you will. She's had those moments before, but they've been very few and far between. This episode was like Fluttershy at her absolute worst. Even though she was in character, even though she was trying to play the different shop ponies and trying to appeal to Rarity's customers, again, I kind of sense the predictability of this, like, because you know, Rarity was, I put it right here. I start off, in my opinion, this is another weak Fluttershy episode. It was all too predictable when I knew she'd take the running the shop the Rarity way too far. I sensed that from a mile away, because you think about it, Fluttershy was the last pony or creature that Rarity asked to do this. She asked Rainbow Dash first. She asked Pinkie Pie. Then she asked Twilight. Then she asked AJ. Then she asked she asked Starlight. Then she asked Big Mac, Cheerilee, the CMCs, even Maud. I mean, she went down the line of all these different ponies to try to run the shop, and they were all too busy. So it came down to asking Fluttershy. So you could tell where she was on this list, but it was just so crazy for her to have 3 different personalities, because she had to appeal to each shop pony's, you know, unique, you know, Manhattanite, if you will, is the same they use, unique style of fashion. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Rarity makes it look easy. As someone who works in retail myself, I kind of understand the art of the sell. Like, you know, if you have it and you present that in a good way, then yeah, you make it look easy. Is it easy in reality? No, but once you have the confidence in yourself, kind of like what Fluttershy said, with the inner strength. If you know that you can do the job well, then you have that confidence in yourself. That's why Rarity makes it look so easy, because she's been doing it for, as far as we know, forever. But Fluttershy was just placed in the situation where it's like, oh, I don't even know, the first thing about how to do this. I'm already way over my head. So yeah, that was crazy. And the ending, that ending was just freaking confusing. I'm having flashbacks to the mirror pool in Too Many Pinkie Pies, because I'm like, wait, okay, were there actually 4 different Fluttershys? Were they not just personalities? Were they not just pretending? Was it actually 3 different characters? Did she go back to the mirror pool and actually make these clones? Like, because she had to get terminated 3 times before finally apologizing to every pony. It's like, oh my gosh, Fluttershy, what did you do? So it was confusing. Oh yeah, and the fact that eventually after a good start, kind of like with the school, a good start, Fluttershy's multiple personalities, they take it too far, they push the snootiness, and eventually they were jerks to not only Rarity's customers, but her own friends. She kicked them out of the shop, and she called her raccoon friends rodents. That in of itself just shows that this is not the Fluttershy we have come to know. This is something totally off base. But yeah, that was just my summary of it. But some other takeaways from the episode. Nice to see the animal sanctuary. Nice to see that in the opening. I was wondering how that was going, because we hadn't seen that since it got built in Fluttershy Leans In. So that was nice to see. Seems to be going swimmingly, no pun intended. And again, I mentioned that Rarity asked several other ponies to run it before eventually settling on Fluttershy. Again, last pony I would have asked. as someone who's organized, kind of relate also the retail thing, someone who's also very organized, I'm a very organized person myself. I have everything to me has its place. I can totally relate to Rarity's organization style. I can totally relate to that. She has everything sorted by style, by price, by color. She has everything sorted out. I love that. I can totally relate to Rarity in that regard. So let's see. Nice to see the raccoons return. I mentioned that. The art of the cell. I mentioned that. And then, you know, I switched to those personalities, you know, the clash, you know. I will say my favorite personality was Valley Girl Fluttershy. I thought that was really cool, like talking like whatever, and it's woke, and you know, and all that. I like that. I like that as my favorite. I'd say probably Goth was second, and then the third one was just the one that she first started out with. But just became a full-on jerk, so I didn't like that one. Straight up mean. So yeah, painful to watch. Just slamming the door in her friend's face and telling the raccoons off. That was painful. That was painful to watch. So not one of the best episodes. So I'm hoping down the line we get some better episodes going forward. And at Con this weekend, I know there's going to be an episode screening on that Saturday afternoon. So hopefully they'll show the new episode, and hopefully it'll be a really good one, because I'm hoping for a good one after the premiere. So because the last two have kind of left a I wouldn't say bitter taste in my mouth, but kind of a rough like sandpaper kind of taste. Like, you know, like, oh, they had their okay moments, but there were moments just make you cringe. Like, ugh. Pinkie Pie getting frustrated over Mudbriar, the annoying character, ugh, cringy. Fluttershy being straight up mean, ugh, cringy. You know, just kind of cringeworthy moments. So I hope we see less of that as the season goes on. I'm still hoping for big things from the season. So nothing really on my wish list has really happened yet. But I'm still hoping at some point that we get, you know, a lot of those things as the season goes on. All right, moving on. My worst episodes of season 7. Again, a couple episodes ago, I mentioned my best episodes of the season. I didn't share a worst list. So now I look back through the recaps that I had of the previous season, and I came up with my top 10 worst. And actually, these were easier to come up with than my best. Number 10, I put All Bottled Up, but not because of the song. Best Friends Until the End of Time is an awesome song. It is one of the cooler moments and songs in the show. The episode itself, though, I just didn't like. The fact that, you know, Starlight was bottling up this anger and not being able to tell Trixie how she really felt, and just that was, and then all the anger from, you know, everyone else having to be released on Trixie, and Starlight could do nothing about it. That just kind of threw me off. So that's the reason why I don't like the episode. It's not because of the song. It's more because of the style of the episode. Number 9, Daring Done. To me, didn't live up to the hype. I was looking, you know, for more, I guess, more in it, and it didn't. To me, it didn't deliver. You know, it seemed rushed at times. It seemed like, you know, there were different points. I just didn't think it didn't live up to the hype of what I thought the episode was going to be. Number 8, Fluttershy leans in. I found that a very weak episode as well. I understand Flutter's having to be tough and going against the ponies for not getting her, or for helping, you know, for not doing the animal sanctuary the way she wanted to. But to me, it was just I didn't like it as a whole. It was just kind of weird to me. Number 7, Forever Philly, also kind of weak in a sense, you know, with, you know, not that it wasn't a bad episode, but it just seemed like, you know, with Rarity and Sweetie Belle, you know, kind of, you know, Sweetie having each other mixing with the fact that they were still taking care of the zipper wheel thing. It seemed like it clashed at times. And to me, that just felt kind of off. And the fact that, you know, Sweetie Belle had to convince Rarity, hey, I'm not a kid anymore, and I don't still like this kid stuff. It just at times seemed kind of weak. Number 6, Marks and Recreation. Rumble and the Blank Flanks. That was cringy to watch, with the CMCs getting, you know, basically snubbed and say, hey, forget you, we're gonna be with Rumble. That was tough to watch. I liked Thunder Lane. I liked it. The only part of the episode I liked was Thunder Lane in this episode. You know, being a Wonder Bowl and seeing him a lot in this episode, and him getting a speaking role. I thought that was really cool. But aside from that, I wasn't really on board with most of this episode. Number 5, Campfire Tales, and not because of the legends, not because of the story. I mean, because eventually the legends became, you know, the big overarching theme of the season, but it wasn't so it's not because of them I don't like this episode. There's 2 reasons I don't like this episode. 1, the Flighters. We never saw them again. Where did they come from? What? There was no explanation for them whatsoever. I thought maybe down the line they were going to play a role in like as one of the villains or something, or down the line. No, they were never. The Flighters were never mentioned again. And I'm thinking, why? There has to be some story with them, but it never tied in anything else. It was just there. So I felt lost on that. Like there needs to be more of the story on them. And 2, I felt it was going to be kind of not fully, kind of a ripoff of Sleepless in Ponyville, like the same general concept. So I felt like, okay, we're doing something we've already seen before. That's kind of 4, Honest Apple. Applejack being too honest, one of her lowest moments. It was a hard lesson for her to learn, but it's still tough when the element of honesty realizes there's such a thing as being too honest, and it can be hurtful. So that was kind of like, okay, reality setting in. So that was tough to watch. Number 3, Not Asking for Trouble. Yeah, this was probably Pinkie Pie's weakest episode ever, maybe outside of Mod Couple. This one was pretty weak. Again, because there really wasn't anything compelling in it. It's the yaks not asking for help when snow hits. Woohoo! It wasn't anything overly exciting or to draw you in. It was just okay. They didn't so by not asking for help, you understand us, and now we'll accept you. So it's like it kind of felt rushed. So not great. 2, Health of Information, because death. I mean, literally, we almost had 2 near deaths if you think about it, because Zecora could almost turn into a tree, and then Fluttershy caught it, and her symptoms were coming up fast, and she could have turned into a tree. I mean, so death. I mean, in a show mainly made for kids. I mean, it's like that was like, whoa, that hit home. That got dark real quick. So even though it helped us again to learn more about one of the legends with Mage Meadowbrook and the mask, it was like, this is going dark, man. This is like taking on a dark turn. So that was definitely stunning in and of itself. And if you guys know me, you know my number 1. You don't even have to guess. You don't even need 3 guesses. Say it with me, class. 1, 2, 3. Fame and Misfortune. Damn you, M.A. Larson. I mean, to me, I'm sorry. I know some people in the fandom like this episode. Sorry, I don't. I think it's a total stab at the fandom. And I know some might say, oh, it's only to those that don't get it. Well, okay, but still, yeah, there might be some people that nitpick and have these debates, but isn't that kind of, why eliminate debate? Why not have discussion on some things? Is that what Larson was going for here? To say, hey, that debates aren't healthy. I mean, that's kind of like, again, it's also taking a stab at free speech in a way. It's like saying, your opinion doesn't matter, or your opinion isn't right, so I'm gonna, so screw your opinion. That's kind of the way I saw it. Maybe someone will ask that at Con this weekend, because he's supposed to be at Con, and get a better explanation for it, and maybe that'll help me out to understand it better. But on the surface, I just felt like it was a total stab, and it just left me with a very, very bitter taste in my mouth. Totally like apple cider, like totally that was apple cider vomit taste is what that was. That was me, like, that wasn't like the sandpaper the past couple episodes. That was like, wow, this is like, no, I don't agree with this. I don't get this. Now I love the song, and I'm gonna be singing Flawless at my little karaoke on Friday night. So if you're in Schaumburg this weekend for Singing is Magic in the main room, I'll be singing Flawless there. So I've practiced like all week. So I know originally I was going to sing Best Friends to the End of Time. I don't feel like that song fits my voice very well, so I'm going to do Flawless instead. So I switched it up. But yeah, so it's not because of the song. It's just because it's just the structure of it and taking a stab. So that's not what I felt was right. All right, so that concludes that. So schedule-wise for con, let me just kind of give you a brief overview of what I'm going to be doing. I don't know what Nate and Sarah are going to be doing yet. I assume they'll pinpoint different things when they get the con book, or if they've seen the schedule already, they have an idea. But I looked at the schedule well in advance, and I kind of planned out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to see and experience at con. Again, I'm hoping that these don't overlap too much so I can experience all of this. Because you want to, I mean, if anything I learned at con last year, it's this. You want to see and do as much as you possibly can without, like, maybe oversaturating yourself. Like, you want to have time for, like, checking out the vendor hall, or you want to have time for, being in the sponsor lounge in our case, or you want to have time to, go eat, lunch or dinner outside of the Hyatt or what have you. You want to squeeze in time for those things as well, but you also want to, meet the people you want to meet or see their panels or, what have you. Especially with me, I want to see AC Race Best and Saber Sparks and Paleo and Silver Quill, especially because Silver Quill wasn't at con last year. This is his first time at Whinny City, so I definitely want to meet Silver Quill and see his panel, Dial 211. So I really want to experience all of this this year at being a sponsor and experience this. So here's my plan, or POE, if I call it POE, plan of events, is how I do it. Tomorrow I am leaving pretty much early in the morning, not like terribly early, but I'm picking up Nate and Sarah and leaving. Then we'll get into Schaumburg, check into our hotel. Then Nate and Sarah actually are doing the barrel run tour that night. The ticketed event, where 20 people are going. They're doing being the barrel bus, the tour downtown, going to the Speakeasy, which is very cool. I'm not doing that. They're more the history buffs than I am. I'm really not into that, so I'll probably just be hanging at the hotel most of the night. I'll probably be watching the hockey playoffs. I'm wearing my Nashville Predators jersey. I got 6 teams to follow this year, guys. All 6 of the NHL teams that I follow made the postseason for the first time ever. That is, to me, stunning. So I got a lot to track now. Unfortunately, I got 4 teams facing each other in the first round. Nashville is actually taking on Colorado, and San Jose is taking on Anaheim. So I'll have 2 teams knocked out in the first round guaranteed. But then Tampa is playing New Jersey, unfortunately. And Pittsburgh right now is playing Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh right now is blowing out Philly in game 1 right now. They're up 3-0 already in the second period. So great start so far for the Penguins. I am picking Nashville to win the Stanley Cup this year and the reason why is because they got a taste of it last year and being against Pittsburgh in the final. And they, to me, have an easier path out west than the Tampa Bay Lightning, who's the top seed in the East too. Tampa's a much tougher path out east, and they've also been beset by injuries and a late season slump than Nashville has. So I think Nashville top to bottom is the most solid team. So that's why I'm wearing the Nashville jersey right now. So yeah, I'll be hanging out at the hotel that night while they're at the barrel run, and then the barrel run ends at about, it starts at 6. Barrel run ends at about 11:30 Central Time. All these times are in Central Time, by the way, because I've already set my watch. This is how excited and how hype I am. I've already set my watch to Central Time. I've already set my watch to Chicago time. That way I'm on their time. So that's how hyped I am now. I've been hyped for a solid week. I've been fully hyped with excitement. So that's how hyped I am. So Friday after I pick up, badges, swag, what have you, maybe check out, maybe go to the vendor hall early before it opens, because sponsors get early access to the vendor hall. Opening ceremonies at 11 a.m. In the main hall. Then I got an hour of downtime. I'll probably check out the vendor hall during that time for sure. Maybe the sponsor lounge as well. Then I'm going to check out Modern Brony Music. I'm going to check that one out at 1 o'clock. Then the Guest of Honor panel, of course, at 2. I always make an effort to go to the Guest of Honor panels. They were awesome last year. I can only imagine what's in store for them this year. So I'll definitely be going to the Guest of Honor panels. Meeting the community guests, I'm going to be doing that at 3 o'clock. Then the autograph session. The autograph session last year worked out for me perfectly last year. And I was just a weekend badge. I wasn't a sponsor last year. And amazingly, I got all my autographs that I wanted to get on Friday. I was very lucky last year to do that. Now this year, and I think I got 5 last year. This year, I'm only going for 4. I'm only going to try and get Andrea Libman, Kelly Sheridan, Ingrid Nilsson, and Ian Hanlon. I only want to get those 4. Now I get 3 as part of my sponsorship, so that's cool in itself. So I got to pay for 1 more, and then I got to pay for the photo as well for all of them, so I can get the autograph and the picture. So I got to do like 1 combo and then get 3 photos. So yeah. So that'll be some definitely. So if I get lucky again and get all the autographs on Friday, that'll be awesome, because then they'll give me more time to do other stuff on Saturday and Sunday. So that'll be really awesome. Hooves Line. I'm making an effort to see Hooves Line this year. I want to see it this year. I've heard from so many other people in the fandom, fellow bronies in the fandom, how awesome Hooves Line is in any way is. So I want to go see it this year in the main hall. That's at 5 o'clock. I want to see that for sure. The job that, again, the AC Race Best do with Black Griffins, I've usually has been there in the past, but won't be there. I don't think he'll be there at the con this year. But with Saber Spark and all them, they do this. For those here, this is funny. So I'd love to see that. So I want to make an effort to see it this year. Then during the downtime between that and I'm going to try to head back to the hotel, change clothes, because then at 7 o'clock is the Grand Galloping Gala. And again, being a first-timer last year, I did not get a chance to attend the gala last year. 4-0 Penguins. They're just blowing the doors off of Philly. So then I'm going to go to the gala. And if y'all, from what I've heard, the gala is going to be cool this year, because the theme being the old Chicago with the 20s and 30s, swing dance, jazz style. It's going to be jazz music, going to be a swing dancing lesson by Caitlin Bairstow, who voices Blue Bobbin. So that's going to be cool. That goes 2 hours long, and it's going to be a hopping good time. I'm looking forward to that. Nate and Sarah looking forward to it. So very exciting there. After the gala's over, for an hour, I'll probably be going to the OC creation panel with that in Canon. I want to see how I'm going to be bringing my OC plush to con this year, and so I want to see how others create their OCs and put their work into it. So I think that'd be really cool. And then I go to karaoke, and then I'll do my song. Then I'll do Flawless. So, and then after that, it's back to the hotel for the night to relax and get a good night of sleep. Saturday. First thing, Bronies React. Got to see Bronies React. I love the Bronies React series. I love watching their reactions to episodes like the finales and the premieres and what have you, and these episodes like Perfect Pair, and I love that. So got to go see Bronies React. That's a must. And then after that, I get to do kind of an exclusive event. I don't know what it is, but Pegasus and Alicorn sponsors either Friday or Saturday get to do this like exclusive event that are exclusive to them, and you sign up for one in advance. So I don't know what it involves. I don't know. All I know is that the guests of honor are involved some way. I just don't know, but I don't know anything else. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. That's a major perk of being a high-level sponsor. It's 5-0 Penguins. It's 5-0 Penguins. The Flyers are getting their butts kicked. This is outstanding. It's 5-0 with 10:59 to go in the second freaking period. That's nuts. Anyway, exclusive event I'm looking forward to. Then, of course, they're doing the episode screening on Saturday, so I definitely want to see that as well. And then, of course, immediately following that is the Saturday Guest of Honor panel. So definitely got to see that. If there's anything like the Saturday Guest of Honor panel last year, it should be a treat. So I'm looking forward to that. Then I'm going to one of Vivid Syntax's panels called "You Can't Post That on the Internet." I really was intrigued by this one. You know, looking at that, I love the job that Vivid does with his panels. I really enjoyed hearing some of his last year, so I'm going back to at least this one, and just a great job running the con event. So I'm really looking forward. And he's got a book out as well. One of his works got published, so he's going to be putting that out called Sensation, I believe, and so I hope to get a copy of that as well and read it, because I would love to read one of his fan fictions. Then after that, only if I missed any from Friday, I have it here. The autograph session then starts at 4:30, but only if I missed any from Friday. If not, I might check out a panel from 5 to 6 called "Where's the Royal Guard?" I might check that out if I don't need to go to the autograph session. Then there's about a half-hour downtime from 6 to 6:30 where, you know, I might be in the sponsor lounge. I might check out the vendor hall again just for a half hour, because then after that 6:30 is the sponsor dinner. And that is something we're also very much looking forward to as sponsors. You know, getting to enjoy a buffet with the guests of honor, that's going to be an awesome time. So very, very much looking forward to that. Then immediately following that, Dial It to 11, Silver Quill's panel. Very much looking forward to that. Then I'm going to do the cocktail hour after that, the All Ages VIP hour. I get access to that as part of my Pegasus sponsorship. Normally that's like a paid event, but I get automatic access to it because I'm a Pegasus sponsor. So I will definitely be enjoying that with the guests of honor as well. And then immediately following that is the baseball dance in the main hall, with some of the big names like Vocal Score, Shake Ups in Ponyville, some of the bigger name DJ Sports. Rain's going to be there. I think Euro Brony's going to be there. So some big techno dance ponies. So kind of like Vinyl Scratch. So that's going to be a fun time. We didn't get to go last year. Well, actually, I take that back. Nate and Sarah did briefly last year, but I really didn't get a chance to see that. So I wanted to at least enjoy a little bit of it this year. So looking forward to that. We don't know how long we'll stay for that, but very much going to take that in as well. And then the last day, Sunday. Early in the morning, 10:30, meeting the MLP fan authors. These are the guys that I think write the fan fiction stories. So I want to, meet these guys, kind of see what they get out of their stories. I'm really trying hard to get back into writing. I've slowly begun the process of, writing a new story. I'm a couple chapters in, but the biggest issue is time. And I don't seem to have enough time to really get back in it. I know what my story is going to entail. I know my characters. I know all this, but the biggest roadblock has been time. So I really hope to get back into writing and working on that once con is over. So I really want to hear their takes and how they do these stories. Then of course the Sunday guest of honor panel. Got to go to that. That's a must. From 11:30 to 12:30. A Q&A with Fireteam Harmony. Very cool. I'm definitely going to have to see that as well. If you guys don't know who Fireteam Harmony are, they are a kind of MLP Halo crossover cosplay group. Very, very popular. They go to a lot of these conventions. They're very popular and very, very cool. And they're part of Bronies React as well. So those guys were very awesome to meet. Last year I got to meet RD Spartan and Twilight Spartan was there, and I think Rarity was, and Luna was there. So, and then they got a picture, I think, of all of them. So very, very cool. Definitely check that out. There's an autograph session again from 2 to 3, but again, only if I don't have the 4 I need. I would maybe check that out. Then from 2:30 to 5:30 is the charity auction. I want to hopefully, if I have enough money left over to spend at the auction, I'll go. But otherwise, I might see if there's anything really left at that point. There might not be much in terms of panels left at that point to do. But that's kind of like the only big thing left at that point. So if I don't, then I don't know what I'm gonna do during that downtime. But so yeah, we'll just see what happens. Because obviously, I'm going to be spending money at the vendor hall. I'm going to be spending, money on other things. Maybe got to consider lunch. Lunch and dinners when I'm not. Because there's at our hotel, there's complimentary breakfast in the morning. So we don't have to worry about breakfast at all while we're in Schaumburg. It's just a matter of lunch and dinner. So, and what else I'm going to spend? I know I got to spend some money for the photo and the autograph vouchers, and then whatever's in the vendor hall if I find anything interesting. So, I mean, we're going to get a lot of swag anyway as sponsors. That's the big thing. We're going to get a lot of swag anyway, but it's nice to see if there's anything different in the vendor hall, what I want. So, and then, of course, closing ceremonies, the kind of the hardest part, our Sunday is that Sunday from 5:30 to 6. And then the long drive back home. Thankfully, I don't have to be back at work until 2 o'clock the following day. So that worked out very nicely. So thank you, Walmart, for doing that for me in advance. So yeah, I am beyond looking forward to this weekend. I cannot tell you guys how excited I've been all this week leading up to this. So it is going to be a blast. I am so much looking forward to it. The weather might be a little rough. They're potentially talking about chance of rain mainly throughout. There might be some storms late Thursday night and then potentially all day Friday, which would stink. But aside from that, that's the only storm day from what I've seen in the forecasts lately. I wonder if that forecast has changed any. Let's see. Because some things might have changed. I doubt it, but let's see. Here we go. Schaumburg, Illinois. Okay, so Thursday on the drive down will be nice. Thursday, partly sunny, high near 65. Then Thursday night, chance of showers. Thunderstorms also possible after 1 a.m., 30%. So pretty low Thursday night. So hopefully the sleep in the hotel that night will not be that, as Thorax would say, loud and bangy. But Friday looks to be the worst day. Friday, 40% chance, showers and thunderstorms, high 68. Friday night, showers, possibly a thunderstorm. Chance of precipitation, 80%. So Friday night looks like it's going to be the worst of it. But that'll be during the gala, so hopefully we'll be mainly inside. We'll be dancing the night away, so hopefully it won't be too crazy. Saturday, showers likely, high near 46, 60%, but no storms mentioned there, so just rain. Just rain I can handle. Storms, no. You guys know, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know I'm not a storm fan. Saturday night, 40% chance of rain, low 35. So it's going to be very chilly on Saturday night. Then Sunday, chance of rain and snow before 9 a.m. Then a chance of rain, high 40. And then Sunday night, chance of snow, mainly before 1 a.m. So the drive home is going to be very fun on Sunday night. So Friday looks to be the worst day. Aside from that, not too bad. So again, aside from it being a little wet, maybe a little noisy, not too bad. So I packed a lot of long sleeve stuff. I packed my Rainbow Dash shirt that I normally wear on the show. Packed that as well. So I'll be wearing that all weekend. So if you guys look for me, or see my badge, Spiky Dash on it, you'll know me. You'll notice the big Spiky Dash plush that I've shown that I had the OC unboxing episode for. You guys know, so I'll be having that all weekend. I'm also bringing my plush of Starlight Glimmer, obviously because Kelly Sheridan's going to be there, so I'll have that with me as well. So, yeah, I'm beyond looking forward to this, guys. I've just been so excited all week long, counting down the days. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know every time I put my handle, counting down the days to WCPC. So I cannot wait. I'll be taking a lot of pictures throughout the weekend. I'll be posting those. I'll be vlogging like I did last year with my Facebook vlogs. I don't know if I'll be doing it on Facebook this year or on YouTube. I hope to do it on YouTube because YouTube now is a way where I think you can just go live at any point and just vlog right then and there. I'm hoping that's the case. If not, I'll do it on Facebook again like I did last year. And recapping each day for you. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting, guys. I'm really excited. Real quick, just two more things. Last month, went to Fort Wayne one time last month. Got to see the Komets for at least. I try to get to a Komet game and a Pacer game every season. I did not get to go to a Pacer game this season, unfortunately. I'm bummed at that. But with all the struggles I went through in January with the car and this, that, and the other, it didn't work out. So I think I need to go to a Pacer game earlier in the season is the lesson that I've learned in all this. But I got to go down to see the Komets, and I brought two newbies to the game of hockey. Had not seen a hockey game ever in their lives. So my coworker, Tommy, and his wife, soon-to-be wife, I should say, fiance, Shelby, I took down more like up there because Fort Wayne is above me, not down. I took them up there to go to the Komets game. They were taking on the Kalamazoo Wings, one of their division rivals. Fun night. It always is. The atmosphere is outstanding in Fort Wayne. I quickly got them hooked. They want to go back. So, unfortunately, the Komets did lose in overtime, 3-2 Kalamazoo. But they're doing really well this season. They're in the playoffs too. A lot of my hockey teams have fallen in the playoffs. I got the 6 NHL teams in the playoffs. I got the Gamblers from the USHL in the playoffs in Green Bay. I got the Komets. I got all my ECHL teams in the playoffs too. The Komets, the Florida Everblades, the Colorado Eagles. They're in the playoffs. I only have one right now in the AHL. That's the Ontario Reign. But aside from that, I got a lot of teams fall in the playoffs this year. So, and the Pacers are in the playoffs. Who'd have thunk? Never would have guessed that. I was totally wrong on them, as I'm sure a lot of people were. So, but they might play Cleveland in the first round. Ugh, scary. But no, they had a great time, great experience. It's always fun to go to Fort Wayne and at the Coliseum and see a Komet game. So awesome stuff. Glad I could get them hooked. Love it. Finally, one more thing, guys. Let's talk real quick, a little bit fantasy football. Every year I try to come up with a very creative name for the team. Something tough, something unique, something, that says, here we are ready to win. I had a list of 20 names made down, and then I narrowed that list down to 10. And then I posted in our team or franchise Facebook group to vote for their favorite choices. Eventually, we narrowed it down to 5 finalists. And then once those 5 finalists were put up in a poll, we eventually, as a group, we came to a unanimous decision on the team name. The last 3 years for our team in fantasy football have not been very good. We have struggled the last 3 years. We have fallen short of the postseason. Each of those last 3 years has been tough. It's been frustrating. Not fun. We want to get back there. We want to get back to being in the playoffs, competing for titles, winning titles. We needed a tough name and a tough image to show that. And I have been wanting to use this name for years now. I've always wanted to use this name for a team, and I always seem to find something better. But I'm glad that everyone was on board with me this year to pick the new team name that came to a unanimous agreement. So for the 2018 fantasy football season, our team name will be the Nighthawks. I have been, because it's just so tough, and the logo's on our Facebook page, and I'll eventually on one later episode I'll show you guys an image of our logo. But I've been wanting to use that name for so long. It's intense. It's tough. We want to be a solid team. We've got a new strategy we're going to use this year for draft day. So we need to get back to being the good team we know we are. So that is the goal with that. So guys, that is it for me tonight. Next time you see me, whether they're posting pictures on Twitter or vlogging, whether through YouTube or through Facebook, it will be in Schaumburg, Illinois at Whinny City Pony Con 2018. The hype is real. Okay. Let's be honest. I've been hyped for ever since last year, because last year with my first con experience, I told Charlie Wordley afterwards and I thanked him for making my first con experience memorable. That was the goal for me of Whinny City last year. It was to make that first experience memorable, and it was in every aspect of the word. And it still sticks with me that he said that it warmed his heart to know that my experience was so memorable. This year, after that, we made a goal. We said, boy, what would it take for us to take the next step up and become sponsors? What would that take? So we looked at the pricing. We looked at how much it would be to at least be an Earth Pony sponsor at the very least. And I then immediately started setting money aside. I started a couple months after I started taking some money out of my checks. And I started setting money aside, started saving up money just for con alone. But then, of course, the tough times hit with January, the struggles hit with my car, with financial things, this, that, and the other. And I kind of had to put that money back in my account. And so I didn't have it again. But thankfully, a couple months later, I got or at least around the time of Black Friday, I'd actually gotten a few really good paychecks, and there was a deal offered to that the tickets were being at discounted prices, and of what in a way I'd somewhat saved up that I didn't have to put toward that, and what I'd already had in my account, I could have gone ahead and gotten the Earth Pony tickets. So I did right then and there. So the tickets were then taken care of. Then the next step was actually finding a hotel for the weekend. And that was a lot more difficult because we wanted to do comfort suites again like we had done last year. But the prices this year were so steep, so insane. There wasn't much available. We had to take a different route. So, and last year we were able to get different separate rooms. Unfortunately, this year we're all in the same room. But it is what it is. We had to, make that work out somehow. But the price wasn't bad, and I was able to make that happen as well. So we got the hotel taken care of. So the hard parts were out of the way. But then an opportunity presented itself. And actually, I didn't even know about it. It was actually Nate, God bless him, that tipped me off to one of the sponsors could no longer attend the convention, and she was willing to sell her Pegasus sponsorship, either for $600, which was lower than the cost of what it was originally was $700, and then she said, well, if you've already bought a sponsorship, you can pay me the difference, and I will give it to you. So Nate said, if anyone, after all that you've done, after you've paid for the tickets, you've paid for the hotel, after all you've spent, and after all that you did to get us to this goal, to get us to this level, if anyone deserves that jump in sponsorship, it's you. And I was touched by that. I really was. It not only shows how tight Nate and I are as friends, and the magic of friendship really showing in that moment, reciprocated. The fact that I had paid so much to make the sponsorships happen, to make the hotel happen for all three of us. The fact that that's reciprocated back to me by Nate telling me, hey, there's an opportunity here for you to up your sponsorship level, and if anyone deserves that, it's you. That warmed my heart. So I jumped on her immediately. I reached out to her. I said, hey, I know you're not willing to spend, to take anything under $400, but for me, it'd be $325. If you're willing to take it, reach out to me. At first, she was hesitant. She said, nah, I don't think I can do it. It's exclusive. I don't think I can do this. I said, I don't want to be put in a tight spot. I said, I totally understand. I don't want to put you in a tight spot either, but I'm just saying the door's open for you if you want to take it. Then later she reached out to me the very next day, actually, and said, are you still willing to do this? And I said, well, of course I am. The door's always been open. And right then and there, we made it happen. And I moved up to a Pegasus sponsor. And after all that we had to get through, after all that I had been through, after all that needed to be done just to get to this point, it's now going to come to fruition this weekend. And I cannot tell you just how much I'm looking forward to this. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, of course, for supporting my channel. Thank you for the subscribing, the thumbs up if you like the video. I appreciate that very, very much. I love what I do on here for you guys, to just, being a part of this fandom, with the fantasy football, that I do every year, with the Tracking the Madness, with this. Hopefully, Fur Fanatic will hopefully come together after Con. I'm still hoping for that. I still need to explore Twitch a little more and see how that works, to maybe get that up and running. I want to do it on Twitch. If not, I may just stick to doing it here on YouTube as well and do another series on here. But we'll see how that pans out. But bottom line, I enjoy doing this for you guys, and I really just enjoy sharing my thoughts on all of this with you. So I can't say enough how much I'm looking forward to this weekend. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for my pics I'll be posting to Twitter, maybe to Facebook too, the vlogs, all that. I will be posting a lot this weekend and taking a lot of stuff. So, and coming back with a lot of stuff as well. Come back with not just swag, but more memories for sure. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. God bless all of you. If you are going to Whinny City this weekend, if you see me, say hi, give me a shout out. If you watch the show, hey, I love your work, what have you. I want to meet, as many of you as possible this weekend. So thank you guys. I want to meet, fellow reviewers, of course, the guest of honor, all that. So if you see me, let me know. So just and so we can enjoy this community, this fandom that we embrace and enjoy together, so that we can just enjoy for this whole weekend. So thank you guys again, and I will hopefully see you at Schaumburg this weekend. If not, then we'll probably see you again maybe either in a couple weeks with a full recap of Con, with maybe aside from the vlogs, with more episode recaps, and just whatever else goes on in my life. That's really what I enjoy sharing in this. It's a hodgepodge of pony and life. That's really what this series is all about. So thank you guys again, and I will see you either in Schaumburg this weekend or very, very soon here in a few weeks. Good night, God bless, and hope to see you at Whinny City. Take care.